Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
I think that this world, it needs men that are willing to make the hard call.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Ain't no thing like me except me.
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
Matt's coming. No. When do we start?
Guess who's back? Back again. Jared's back.
Hey, tell a friend.
Yeah. That should be the new thing. We start every single show with an outdated rap song.
I don't think that song is outdated by any way.
Pretty outdated.
No, it's not. Come on. Eminem, he transcends time and space. Come on. You're better than that.
I don't know. That Slim Shady song isn't very good anymore.
Was it ever really good to begin with, though?
It was.
It was catchy. It hooked you in. And then you like would listen to more of his music, and then you're like, wow, this is really dark, and this is upsetting. This man is wanting to kill his wife.
And possibly himself.
Yeah.
Seems to have issues with his daughter, too.
You know what?
And his mother.
Yeah, a lot of issues with Kim. No, Kim was his wife, wasn't it?
Yes,
yeah, Kim was his wife. I can't remember what his mom's name. Speaking of Eminem, I know this is wicked, like, not show relevant, but now you brought it up. You know what probably my favorite Eminem song is?
Rap God.
No.
Sure, it's kind of homophobic and racist, but he says it real fast.
No, it's not.
It's all of those things.
Yeah, but no, it's not my song. It's not. It's probably it's in my top 3. It's my top 3 Eminem songs.
All right, what?
Stan.
Stan's interesting.
Stan's a good one. I like Stan.
But now whenever I hear that other song that's like intermixed with it, like this version, I want Stan.
I want Stan. That's Dido. I want to thank you. Yeah. But the best version is when he sang it with Elton John.
Yeah. All right, let's talk the thing we got to talk about up front.
Construction?
No, the fucking construction.
You work in a hard hat, so this should get you a little hard hat.
I kind of like the...
Do they have a guy outside your store with a stop slow for...
No, but they do have a guy outside smoking weed, so at least we know we have the highest quality people working on this.
I see what you did there.
No, that's a real thing.
No, but I see what you did.
Fucking construction?
No, you said there's a guy smoking weed. He's the highest quality guy.
Oh, yeah. Thank God we have this level of DOT working on this. Let's just go smoke weed behind a building and hope no one sees.
Well, I don't see. It's not DOT. I think it's Sargent Construction who won the bid. It's Sargent who's doing it. The DOT just oversees the project.
Either way, that was the impression of day 2. I'm like, fantastic. So glad you're high on the job.
What was your impression of day 1? Like, oh, this is just going to be a mild inconvenience.
No, mild annoyance raised to like, you sons of bitches.
Well, you weren't living in Farmingdale.
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, during the construction. That sucked.
Yeah, it did suck.
So you're in for another summer of that in your life.
Yeah, this one will be worse. But what I really want to talk about is parking.
Yes. Because
parking, I think, is not as bad as people think it is.
No, not really.
Right? Because even if you go on my Facebook and my Twitter, I pinned the map that DOT released that shows the flow of traffic along with available lots. But there's more than just what is on that map.
It's going to take people some time to sort out how that traffic is going to work.
It also shows the flow of traffic on that map, which is helpful. But aside from just that, there's still street parking on one side of the street. All 3 churches in town have opened up their lots to public parking. So we have 6 separate lots aside from just one half of street parking. And the one that's the most important for the store, Hollowell Antique Mall, which is basically across from the store, has opened up their lot as well.
What about the Lucky Garden lot? That's also open. Are they frowning upon?
They have not opened themselves up for the public. But let's be real, if you just want to run in and out, they wonon't catch you.
Probably not.
Side note, don't use that in court.
Yeah. They're not going to, I don't think they're going to, like, come after you.
No, if you're...
The Lucky Garden people are not going to, like, take you to court if you park in the Lucky Garden parking lot.
For 5 minutes to go grab some books. But yes, but for what's been released of, like, businesses who are in the lots, your best bet to get to the store is going to be the Hollowell Antique Mall. Their lot, they've opened up for the public, so that's your best bet. It's not as bad as it seems. It's really annoying in general, but, you know.
But I think there's like 3 crosswalks through downtown that they've opened up, and one of them goes right to the store.
Yeah, that's nice too. I mean, as it goes, there'll be updates. It's going to be a rough year.
It's what, 6 months?
Well, it's not just that. It's not that it's just 6 months. It's
8 months, actually, sorry.
That it's going right from that into the toughest part of the year. Like, I'm losing my best part of the year. And then going right back into the hardest part.
We have Old Hallowell Day.
Oh, good. A day. Thank God. Thank God out of the other 364, I got one.
You could just be like Amazon and mail things to people. Apparently, that's a money-making scheme, according to people at the top.
I consider doing that, but I have a different thing that I'm doing, but whatever.
Okay.
But yeah.
But the store is open.
Yeah, store's open.
Have you noticed a difference in daily store traffic yet?
Mondays and Tuesdays are, because we do this on a Tuesday, they're usually my slower days anyway, because I get new releases come out on Wednesday, so I've been reading into it way too much. Ask me in a week.
So tomorrow's really like the
That's my litmus test.
The litmus test,
Yeah.
the benchmark, perhaps. How was getting the delivery today? Was it like
No issue.
no issue? The post.
I talked to the UPS guy. I was like, how was that? He's like, oh, today was fine, but I can see how this might be an issue in the future. I might not get so lucky. It's like, yeah, we'll see.
I am going to say a couple of things. As bad as like, I'm usually a pretty big time optimist. Shocked that I haven't heard yet. Maybe they have, but if there haven't been, that's even more shocking. No real fender benders yet. But at some point, someone's going to get into an accident on Water Street in that area.
Yeah.
And that's going to cause a massive traffic problem.
People have been so far. I hear a lot of
Because you
horns
can't,
going.
you can't take the left on Academy because that's been made into two-way traffic coming down now.
Yeah. There's
So there's no, like,
been a pretty heavy police presence the last 2 days to kind of watch traffic.
more police than you'd find on a Saturday night in Hollowell.
Oh, yeah, in general.
Usually you find a lot of police Saturday nights in Hollowell.
But I just wanted to address the parking thing. We'll kind of see what comes for the year. I'm sure there will be many an update as we go through this horrible process, but I wanted to deal with that up front. Because I'm also going to say that that's the main topic of this video, parking. If you're here for the parking, that's the parking stuff. Hang out for the rest.
Yeah.
Also, if you see people smoking weed, report them to their supervisor and get their ass fired. I don't care what you do in your off time, but if you're working on this massively inconvenient project for me, how about you don't do it high?
Fair. I was just reading the letter from Thanos.
I'll ruin you.
You don't believe in the letter from Thanos?
Oh, no, I'll just ruin those people.
Oh.
It just says don't spoil the movie.
Yeah, I know.
I wasn't even going to bring that
But it's
up.
from the Russo brothers, #Thanos, which they're not doing a full viewing of the movie for anyone until it premieres.
And that's not uncommon. I don't even know why they mentioned that. Like, oh no, they're not doing test screenings because this movie wasn't going to make $1 billion in 2 weeks.
Exactly.
They don't need to do test screenings. What's the point? So from there, I guess now they've already kind of started. Let's get into the news.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
I'll leave it up to you. Happy, sad, or neutral?
Let's go sad, then neutral, then happy. We'll build ourselves up.
Okay, we'll go with the saddest of news. That also has kind of a positive spin at the end of it. A name you might not have heard if you've been into comics for a while. It might be a name you know. Bill Messner-Loeb. He is best known for writing on Flash and Wonder Woman and Thor. Even within we saw a screen credit for him in the Wonder Woman movie for creating some of the characters that are in there. He is currently homeless in Detroit, living out of his car.
That's terrible.
Yeah, he's unrelated. He's a one-armed artist. The one-arm thing has nothing to do with the homelessness. But he used to be a really big name. Like, he used to rake in some big bucks, including some TV deals for some of the work that he had done. Through basically a series of unfortunate family health issues, all of his money got sucked up, and he's now homeless. And he also ended up getting evicted from his second home in a trailer park due to a gas leak and being condemned.
In Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit's a terrible place.
Well, he's living out of his car there. And no one knew this until there was just a report that came out last week. I guess he has a part-time job at Panera and some janitorial work, and that's about it. But he has a wife as well. So not great news. I mean, I've read his Flash stuff. He's really good.
So nobody's giving him work?
No, he hasn't had any real work at Marvel or DC for a while. He said, there's a pretty in-depth interview that was done with a local Detroit station, and he said, if anything, he just wants to get another gig drawing. But the kind of one positive spin out of this is there is a GoFundMe for an organization that directly deals with him who deals with the homeless in the Detroit area. That's, I'm not going to say it's blown up, but it has gotten a significant amount more of money that people are funneling into it. So if you want to give into that, and we've talked about this before, the comic community, or I shouldn't say the community, the publishers for comics are not great at taking care of their own.
Well, we've talked about this. It's kind of, they're almost like independent contractors. They're not really...
Oh, yeah, and you get railed hard.
They're not they're kind of like professional wrestlers. They are independent contractors. They're not really signed to they're not part of a union. They don't have any benefits. Yeah, so Bill Messner-Loeb, there is a GoFundMe out there if you want to contribute to that. That is my positive spin on that.
If you want to go to the neutral news that I was talking about.
Okay. Well, good. Only one item of bad and sad news today. I like that.
Yes. This is an annoying one. This is a hilarious one. Let's go neutral. Creed 2 has started shooting.
Yay!
If you want to follow Stallone on Instagram, he just keeps on posting videos about it, so there's that.
Did you say Arnold Schwarzenegger had to have emergency heart surgery?
Yeah, I think it was to replace a stent.
Yeah.
They tried something experimental and then it didn't stick, so yeah, but he's fine. He came out of it and said, I'm back! So if you're making puns right after surgery, you're fine.
Or you're really still heavily sedated. What kind of horse tranquilizer do you think they used on him?
I don't know. Do you think he had total recall?
Get your ass to Mars.
I don't know.
It's not a tumor. That's probably crossing the line, isn't it?
That heart was really a predator in his life.
Oh, ooh.
Hang on. I'll do Kindergarten Cop. I got nothing.
I did one.
I know, but
I just did one. It's not a tumor. When he came out, he goes to the doctor, I'm going to ask you a few questions. Who is your daddy and what does he do?
When they tried to give him a new... Put that stent down!
There you go. Jingle all the way.
Yeah.
Do you think when he started to have chest pains, he went to whoever he was with, get to the ER!
Jesus. Hang on.
Doctor, if you cannot repair my heart, to hell with you.
All right. That'll do it for that. We're moving on. I like that one. Yes, Arnold's fine. And Stallone is posting way too many videos on his Instagram about Creed 2. I guess they're going to go to the MGM Grand. I don't know for what part of that might just be like a montage of Creed doing... We've seen plenty of montages of them. And
but he's not directing.
No, he's not.
He just wrote it.
He was for a little while, but then they're like, no. But yeah, so Creed 2 has started filming. That is the neutral news. I guess we can keep doing neutral news. The CW has renewed 10 different shows, including all of their comic book shows. But then the one that stood out to me like a sore thumb, and I can't believe it because I don't know anyone who watches this, Supernatural has been renewed for a 14th season. Who the hell watches Supernatural?
Enough people.
Apparently 14 seasons, though?
How many seasons of Buffy were there?
7.
Okay. 7's usually a good run.
Yeah, not 14.
Then they're twice as good.
Yeah, that must be. What is this? Does anyone watch this? I guess I'm not going to define them as neutral or not. I'll just keep doing news now. Captain Marvel news coming out. There's a bunch of casting news. Some might consider it kind of spoilery, but since it's just literally the cast, I'm not going to count it. Coulson is back, baby!
Well, he's always been back.
Well, yeah, sure, he's back in his own show for 5 seasons now, but he's going to be part of the Captain Marvel movie, which takes place in the 90s. Which begs the question, what are they going to do with his hair? Mullet.
No! We don't need a mullet.
That's what I want.
We don't need a Coulson mullet.
But yeah, he's back. Because it's going to take place in the 90s, so he's still alive there.
Wasn't he still alive after Avengers?
No, they don't know he's alive. Not in the movies. He's only alive on TV.
Oh, well, you know what? At least he's alive somewhere.
There's a few other casting bits from that, though, from past Marvel movie actors. Lee Pace, who played Ronan in Guardians of the Galaxy, he's going to be a part of this movie. And also, guy whose name I'm afraid to try and pronounce, and I forget the character name.
Wow, you're back.
Oh, sorry. The guy in Guardians of the Galaxy who Star-Lord sees at the beginning and who tries to arrest him, who's like, Star-Lord, like, who?
Oh, okay.
And then he comes back. Like,
yeah.
Star-Lord, finally. Yeah, he's going to be in this movie too. So it looks like we're going to be getting potentially the Kree-Skrull War, major Marvel event from the 70s.
I love those Skrulls.
Ooh, you said it right.
I know. I felt like being generous tonight. April Fools. Skrill.
But yeah, so some casting news. More movie news, one that kind of surprised me. Colin Trevorrow is going to be back for Jurassic World 3. He directed the first movie, was supposed to do Star Wars Episode 9, but then was fired for doing a terrible indie movie that everyone hated and having a reputation as being a jackass on set.
Well, that's just no fun. Nobody wants to work in that kind. Nobody needs that kind of negativity in their life.
Well, apparently he's back for Jurassic World 3. I was like, oh, really? Someone gave him a job.
Well, if things get really bad, they could just have a dinosaur eat him.
Well, they were like, Jurassic World made all of the money, and then he made an indie movie that I didn't see because everyone panned it terribly. Like, this is the worst thing ever.
What was it called?
I forget now. It's been a couple of years. Look, then he got fired from Star Wars. Then I had to stop caring about who he was and following his career.
Reasonable. You know, speaking of like indie movies and like scary movies, for some reason it just popped in my head because I thought indie movie, I thought Get Out. You know what movie looks really intriguing, but I probably won't watch it because I'm...
The John Krasinski directed movie?
A Quiet Place?
Yeah, I think that looks... I'm very excited about that movie.
That looks like it's certified 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Is it? I can't wait to watch that. I love good horror. That looks like it's going to be good horror.
Like it's going to be like so intense because it'll be quiet the whole time.
Oh yeah, no, I love the trailers for that. I can't wait to watch that movie. I'm not going to see it in theaters, but I will. I can't wait to red box the hell out of it.
So you can be at home with the comfort of your security blanket and lock your doors. See, I live by myself in the woods. I don't think I don't like being scared in scary movies as it is, but like I can't watch bizarre.
It looks like it's more suspense than anything.
No, it looks like there's gonna be a lot of jump scares, a lot of out of the dark and the quiet.
I don't think there'll be that. I can't imagine there's that many because I feel like that's going to be too obvious and cheap. That they're going to have to be more clever than that to make it work.
Obviously, I think what's most terrifying about this is I don't think I could live in a world where I'd have to be quiet all the time.
No, that doesn't. I mean, you would snore, fart. Like, I hope that's what kills a character. Like they fart.
In the trailer, the old guy who screams to draw the attention of whatever it is that is killing things.
This one doesn't really count as spoilers anymore because apparently it's not happening. And I have to question why. John Hamm, Mad Men actor John Hamm, you always have to go ham for ham, was apparently going to be playing Mr. Sinister in a post-credits scene of the upcoming New Mutants movie, and that has been cut to be replaced with another villain.
Uh-oh.
Why do you cut John Hamm?
We like Hamm.
Love Hamm. And Mr. Sinister is such a weird, ostentatious villain that they teased at the end of X-Men Apocalypse.
That never happened.
Yeah. So I guess it's still not happening, but I can't imagine firing John Hamm. I don't think you have the love that I have for John Hamm.
No, I don't fully comprehend it. But
all right, that's fine.
I'm sure it's profound and deep.
It's strange and confusing. I guess we can stick to movie news. There's one more bit of movie news, I think. Yeah. Do you know Uwe Boll?
Feel like I know that name.
He is regarded as one of the worst directors of all time. And not in a fun way. Like, he's mostly done adaptations of video game movies. For some reason, works with Tara Reid a lot, probably because she's the worst. And done a movie called Postal and movies called Rampage. And therein lies this week's story. He's also just remarkably clueless.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's incredibly foul-mouthed and thinks that he's talented, but he does the worst shit. And the only reason that he's profitable, he does all of his stuff in Germany, and there's this weird tax code where you can lose money on a movie, but the taxes will then plug it all back, so you end up making a profit. So he's very personally financially successful despite making movies that have bombed every single time.
Well, probably because they embrace the arts in Germany.
Nope.
No.
Just a weird tax code.
Well.
There was a time a few years ago where everyone just slammed everything, and he's like, oh yeah, well, I'll box all of my critics. And they all thought it was going to be a tongue-in-cheek charity thing, but no, he went out and just started punching everyone in the head as hard as he could.
Oh, kind of like the end of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Yeah. But he is threatening to sue Sony for $500 million. Or was it Sony? Whoever's doing it. Whatever. We'll just say the studio.
The studio.
Yeah. Threatening a $500 million lawsuit over Rampage. I feel like I need to pull the quote up.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of clams right there. What does that translate into Deutschmarks? They still use the Deutschmark in Germany? That's only 407,305,000 euro. Come on, man. It's chump change. Oh, wait a minute. Deutschmarks. We can do Deutschmarks. Oh, that's far better in Deutschmarks. Far, far better. That's 794 million Deutschmarks. It's almost $1 billion. That's 750 million Deutschmarks, man. I just like saying that word. Oh, sorry. Never mind. The Deutschmark is obsolete. It was replaced with the euro in 1999. I got to get back on par. My bad. Whoopsie.
So, Uwe Boll, his statement. I want to do this in an insulting German accent. I am going to avoid that. We are living now in a world where independent movies are dead and the big players are the only one making the money that they use to develop the brands and ideas from established series, such as my Rampage films, in order to make even more money is unfair but typical. The new Rampage movie will shrink my brand and my revenues I can make in the future with my Rampage movies. It also confuses the audience. I want Warner's to change the title, especially because the new movie has nothing to do with a Rampage. It looks more like Jumanji 2 and is one of those typical feel-good popcorn bullshit movies that studios use to brainwash America even more. All these kind of movies, including Transformers, Avengers, are helping the military-industrial complex in America to win to have retards like Trump be the American president who would say the earth is flat as soon as they think they can benefit from this. So
it's a strongly crafted statement right there. He's got a lot of feelings in there.
Can I just list some of his movies?
Yes, can you please?
Can I do that for you?
You can. It'd be like the time I read Dean Cain movie summaries.
Oh, God, I just had an aneurysm.
Are you IMDb'ing him?
I am.
Okay. Is he Hard Ticket to Hawaii bad? Because that's a special kind of bad. That's a good bad.
Oh, he did direct Rampage, President Down.
Oh, funny, because that sounds a lot like Olympus Has Fallen.
Rampage Capital Punishment.
See, now you've piqued my curiosity. I gotta read some of the what's this guy's name again?
UA Bull. What the hell is Blubberella? Top build cast. Blubberella. Vag.
Okay, so you know that you're in trouble when you Google this guy, and the first thing that people also search for is Vern Troyer. You know who Vern Troyer is?
I know who Vern Troyer is.
You don't?
No, I do. I've seen him in person.
It's Mini-Me.
Yeah, I've seen him at shows.
Filmography. Known for... Oh, he did In the Name of the King. That was with Jason Statham.
Either way, this guy sucks.
Zombie Massacre 2, Reich of the Dead.
Yeah, so UA Bull is suing Warner Brothers and saying, change the name of your Rampage movie. Also, a guy who directs video game movies can't figure out that there's a video game called Rampage. Anywho.
So, Capital Punishment. Rampage Capital Punishment. Not rated, so you know it's not good. A man takes over a TV station and holds a number of hostages as a political platform to awaken humanity instead of money.
I like how he says there's no Rampage in this movie.
Rampage President Down. I just want to read this one. Bill Williamson is back, alive and well, and doing a recon mission around DC. This time he wants to cause a major population disruption within the USA, which will result in devastating consequences. Wow.
I'm moving on from UA Bull.
Bill brings with him the all-freaking havoc and acidity of the previous two films. I feel like this is going to be...
Moving on to comic book stuff. The X-Men, you've heard of them.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, you've got to hear this. In the trivia, during pre-production, UA Bull failed to raise enough studio or independent funds through crowdfunding platform Kickstarter. This along with another failed Kickstarter project. So this guy has anger issues.
Oh no, I've seen those videos.
Led him to create a rant video about how moviegoers are, quote, stupid for going to see Hollywood, quote, trash films such as the Marvel films based on comic book superheroes.
Oh no, I've watched that video. It's amazing. You should watch that.
Wow.
Not right now.
No.
X-Men. You've heard of the X-Men. Stop looking up UA Bull. He's taking up too much of our time.
Extras have stolen stuff from his sets, totaling at least $2,500.
X-Men. You've heard of the... You son of a bitch. X-Men.
Yes, I've heard of them.
Put your phone down.
I've heard of the X-Men, damn it!
The original 5 X-Men were brought into the future around 2011, 2012. And it looks like they're going to be going away in a series called X-Men Extermination.
Just an X.ex hyphen termination.
No. I mean, if it was the 90s, it would be.
Oh.
But this time it's just regular old Extermination.
Oh, I like my version better.
The 90s version. But yeah, it looks like those guys are going away in an upcoming event, so get ready for that, or not. Maybe they're going to stay around. But speaking of things that are going away, the Inhumans. What Marvel was backing on to replace the X-Men. You've heard of the X-Men.
I have heard of the X-Men.
Oh, good. The Inhumans, that thing that Marvel was thinking were going to be a thing.
To replace the X-Men.
They never were. There's going to be a one-shot written by Donny Cates, guy who likes to kill a bunch of characters.
How was the Inhumans Netflix show?
We've talked about it. It's the worst thing ever.
Okay, just double checking.
It's on ABC also.
The Inhumans, you've heard of them, right?
Ugh.
Are they like the X-Men?
There's going to be a one-shot Death of the Inhumans coming up, so I guess Marvel is all done trying to back that horse. But it should be, I mean, I really like the writer, so it should be an interesting one-shot. Small piece, but one that I really enjoy just because I like the artist, or writer/artist so much. Walter Simonson, best known for his Thor run, is going to have some bonus artwork in Frank Miller's upcoming 300 prequel Xerxes. I got less excited about that story as it went on.
You don't like you don't want to find out more about Xerxes, the human god king?
I'm fine without it. But they're like, Walter Simonson's going to have some art in that series. I'm like, ooh, okay. I'll be in it just for the pinups.
Okay.
Marvel discussed their upcoming event, Infinity Wars, and gave a description that Infinity Wars Prime #1, heroes and villains of the Marvel Universe reap what they sow as their frantic search for the Infinity Stones lead to cosmic madness like never before. Which is, clearly just happening because Infinity War is coming up.
Or it's going to be a direct adaptation of the movie.
Nah, because the movie's already going to be an adaptation of a couple of series. Jonathan Hickman's New Avengers and Infinity Gauntlet. But hey, according to that release, they're like, no one knows what the real plot is. I'm like, I feel pretty comfortable with what the plot is.
Good for you.
But we'll see how wrong I am, I guess.
There'll be things that happen that make you go, huh.
Yeah, and then I'll go, they'll fix it in the next movie.
Or what if they don't?
And we'll get ready for our letter. But yeah,
you're not going to write them a letter.
No, the letter that we have.
Oh, yes.
That segment we do every week. We've been doing for over 100 episodes.
Oh.
That letter. But yeah, Infinity Wars is coming up. It's going to involve Thanos and a bunch of cosmic things. Marvel has kind of strayed away from a lot of the cosmic stuff recently, so it's nice seeing it back. And then the big news of the week.
Oh, yes. The big news.
You know what it is. You've seen me tweet of it.
Which thing? Not the letter from the Coen brothers to fans saying don't ruin it for everyone?
Not the Coen brothers, but no, not that.
Oh, okay.
Coen brothers are different brothers.
Oh, no, the Thanos people?
Yes, we'll call them the Thanos brothers.
Yes.
Fantastic Four is back, baby.
Oh, yeah, I did see that tweet. The Thing was wearing pants.
Yes, that's somehow your sticking point. He's worn them a bunch. Usually wears pants. Sometimes he's wearing a weird diaper, but yes.
But he's wearing full-on pants.
Yeah, but Fantastic Four is back. They've been gone for about 3 years now. Also, definitely officially because Marvel was just trying to stick it to Fox. But there's a new editor-in-chief in there now, and hey, he's bringing them back.
Reed and Sue are holding hands in front of the Fantastic Four logo.
Going to be written by Dan Slott, who is ending his 10-year tenure. Had fun with that one.
See,
on
that's
Amazing
10 times
Spider-Man. With artist Sarah Pichelli. Hope I pronounced that right.
You probably didn't.
Probably massacred it.
You definitely just ruined that.
I mean, she's a great artist. I like Dan Slott as a writer. Some people are weirdly polarizing with him, and I've never quite understood it, but whatever. I guess to each their own. He did a run of Silver Surfer recently, which dealt with a lot of the lore from Fantastic Four. He clearly knows the Fantastic Four inside and out, so I'm like, if anyone's going to do that book, give it to him. I'm really excited for it. A bunch of people have already added it to their pull list. It's going to be a big hit, so I'd say, if you want to add it to your list now. Also, I'll add that addendum to what I was talking about earlier with the parking. I am going to be ordering pretty leanly.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I don't know what the next couple of months are going to look like. So if you want a book, add it to your pull list so you guarantee that I actually order enough copies for you to get it. If you want a thing, add it, because otherwise, no guarantees.
Good call.
Well, I got to do it.
Yeah.
I can't be ordering big. Like, I bet I'm going to get all of that summer foot traffic. It's not going to happen.
You should start writing a blog for the store.
I do a podcast.
Well, you could also write a blog and put it on the webpage.
I don't have that much time.
I'll write it for you.
I don't want you to write. I've never seen you write anything.
I'm actually a really good writer.
What else we got?
I mean, I might need some help with some, editing.
Oh, hey, there is one more story this week.
Oh, yeah? Wait a minute. We haven't gabbed about Bendis, have we?
Oh, it's time for Gabbing About Bendis.
What is Bendis up to now?
We're gabbing about Bendis. It's this week's news about Brian Michael Bendis.
Bendis.
Like I wrote it on my notes, just wrote BMB.
Oh, look at that. Oh,
as a reminder. Because, oh, baby, we got Bendis news this week.
Okay.
Really.
I still wish we had called it Get Bendis, but that's just
whatever.
Me.
We already have a theme. So, Brian Michael Bendis, you may have heard of him.
I've. Is he similar to the X-Men? I've also heard of them.
Yeah. He's doing an upcoming Man of Steel miniseries. What are you doing? You speed skating?
I am. I'm like the fast X-Men.
Quicksilver?
Yeah, that one.
Cool. Or the Wizard, as we discussed recently. Not an X-Men, but...
God damn the Wizard.
the
Wizard, Detective Chimp, and that other dude that pissed me off.
Man Bat.
Yeah, Man Bat.
Real stuck on...
The f*** is Man Bat?
We went over what Man Bat was in depth.
That asshole really pisses me off.
I don't know why. I guess we have to do On Leather Wings now. Cool. So Bendis doing his Man of Steel miniseries.
Why does he do a Man Bat miniseries? Come on.
He can now because he works at DC.
Okay.
Most comics right now are 20 pages. Every issue of Man of Steel is going to be at least 22 pages, with the sixth and final issue being 29 pages, and then, in his words, of yummy. Don't appreciate that choice of words, but hey, it's not going to be a price increase, so you're going to get an extra few pages for no extra cash.
Yeah, baby.
Cha-cha-ching.
Brian Michael Bendis, man of the people. Give them what they want. And the people want Man Bat.
And yummy.
They want yummy Man Bat.
Cringeworthy sentence.
It's not the most comfortable thing I've ever said in my life.
All right, from there, that's it. For all the news and the comic and pop culture world that I felt that was relevant. There was more, but clearly if I didn't mention it, I didn't care.
You're what they call in the media world a gatekeeper.
I mean, you can go to the internet too and find it.
Yeah, but you're a gatekeeper. That's what you're called. You're a gatekeeper. I'm not the keymaster. Neither of us is Gozer.
I am Vince Clortho.
Keymaster of Gozer.
From there.
What a great name.
I miss Rick Moranis.
What is he doing?
His wife died and he chose to quit acting to raise his kids.
Good on him. Did he develop some sort of scientific way to shrink them like he did in real life?
No, it's not a documentary.
Oh.
From there, I guess we'll move on to Jared's sports reports.
He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. Bare-chested. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. Oh, and they tackle him at the 40-yard line.
It's time for another Jared Sports Report.
Really upset that Honey, I Shrunk the Kids isn't a documentary.
That ant wasn't real?
It looked real to me.
Boy, did it not.
Anyway, Jared, sports reports. What's going on here in the world of sports? Well, congratulations to the Villanova men for winning the NCAA tournament, national champions, and also to the Notre Dame women, the winners of the women's Final Four, in which the women's Final Four was far superior. 2 overtime games in the semifinals and a buzzer beater to win the national championship. Far better than anything the men put out throughout the Final Four.
I like how you asked, like, hey, did you watch this? I'm like, no. No, I wasn't watching
I should have
the
remembered
women's Final Four.
Should have remembered it was sports ball. Let's see, what else is exciting? Breaking news today, the Patriots have traded Brendan Cook to the Rams for a draft pick, a couple of different draft picks, including one in the first round of this coming draft, which a lot of people project that maybe the Patriots are making a play to put together a package to get Odell Beckham Jr. in New England. And also,
that name.
What?
I know that name.
Oh yes, you should know that name. But the Celtics on a roll, one of the longest win streaks in the league right now at 6 games, rolling into Tuesday night. They're playing Milwaukee. What else exciting? The Bruins are playing very well right now, kind of on a roll. The Sox season is underway. They took the series from the Rays, and they took game 1 of a series against the Miami Marlins. Things are going well in Boston. Let's see, what other immediate things can I think of? Oh, WrestleMania is this coming weekend. That's always exciting to see who comes out for pop culture and celebrity. Ronda Rousey, former UFC women's champion, is going to be wrestling against Stephanie McMahon and Triple H with Kurt Angle.
So, in your opinion, how much of I know that, like, you know, people aren't really getting hit and really getting hurt.
Oh, they're really getting hit, and they're really getting hurt.
I mean, there is a massive level of physicality involved. But aside from, like, the plot lines, how much do you think the actual matches are rigged or not rigged?
I'm going to try and think of the most diplomatic way to answer this.
You don't need to.
Are the matches choreographed? Yes. Do they plan out how they're going to do it? Yes. That being said, you can't fake being thrown through a table.
No, I mean...
You can't fake getting hit with a steel chair.
Yes, you can, because those are prop items.
No, those are real, legitimate steel chairs. They are real...
No one can see my eye roll. I don't believe
those
that.
Those are real chairs. You go stand in a wrestling ring with some tall behemoth of a man and have John Cena hit you with a chair.
I think most of those are prop items.
Would you be willing to, like... If someone said, I'll give you $5,000 if you stand in the middle of the ring and let them hit you with the steel chair that they're going to use tonight on the wrestling show, would you do it?
For $5,000, yes.
And find out for real that it's not a prop item.
As long as they don't hit me in the head, I guess.
I would help pay some of the money for that $5,000 and watch you get hit with a steel chair, actually. Again, the matches are choreographed. The outcomes are predetermined. It's theater is what it is. It's theater, and they are athletes.
No, I don't disagree with that.
They're a
bunch of roided up athletes.
I also contend that NASCAR drivers are athletes too, but
that's stamina.
Driving at that speed with that kind of G-force load on your body in a car that's 135 to 140 degrees in temperature on the inside.
Yeah, definitely stamina, no question.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody can do it. Oh, and here, this is the big sports news. You want the big, exciting, juicy sports gossipy news? I
want just the juice all over me.
Well, it's about Tiger Woods, so be careful what you wish for.
Take the juice back.
The Masters is this weekend at the Augusta National in Georgia. And the big storyline going in, obviously, is Tiger Woods is back, baby. He had a second at the Valspar. He was in the top 5 at the Arnold Classic. Not the Arnold Classic, but the Arnold Palmer Invitational. And it came out over the weekend that...
You idiot. The Arnold Classic.
That's the Arnold Schwarzenegger bodybuilding thing. It's the Arnold Palmer Invitational. So anyway, that his most recent ex-girlfriend and him had a non-disclosure agreement, and she's not keeping mum about it because apparently in her mind it wasn't enough because she's been coming out and saying that while they were dating, Tiger was putting his irons in a different bag, if you know what I mean.
Of course. That's kind of his jam.
That is, you know what? Good for him, because when he was doing that, he was playing really good golf. I mean, yeah, kind of a twat human being to do that to another human being.
No, it's pretty well documented. Not a good guy.
Not a good guy. Good golfer? Yes. Upstanding human being? Not when it comes to dating women.
Those are your reports.
Thank you.
From there, I guess it's time to move on to a movie review.
Ready Player Fun, am I right?
I made that joke last week. But yeah, that movie. We'll do that movie. Review.
Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret. I'm always angry.
It's time for an Editor's Note podcast review.
As we do for every single movie we see, for some reason, even though this one doesn't really need it, we'll do non-spoilers before spoilers. Because this movie is basically the synopsis with not a lot of twists and turns.
Oh, it's pretty straightforward.
I mean, the synopsis of the movie is, in the future, this guy, James Halliday, invents a virtual reality called the Oasis, and then he dies, and he sets up a challenge where you have to solve 3 puzzles, and then if you can solve those 3 puzzles, you get to take over the Oasis. And there's an evil company that wants to take it over so they can do a bunch of marketing inside of it, which is basically this whole movie.
It's about Facebook.
I mean, everything in this movie is marketing. They're marketing IP or Pizza Hut.
Yeah, well, there's so many references.
And
all of the references.
And then the young, scrappy heroes have to beat down the big evil corporation, and you'll never guess what happens. And that's the non-spoilers. That's just what the movie is, and it's also just kind of the movie.
That is straight up the movie. But, I mean, man, it was fun.
I'll show my cards now. The movie is fun, but it's not good.
I think you have to quantify it. This is what I used to like. I really like this explanation of it. Like when Roger Ebert would review movies, it could be like a movie and he'd still give it like a 3-star rating. He'd be like, yeah, this movie is terrible, but this is the movie that I expected to go and see. When you go to see a James Bond movie, you want these certain things. When you go to a blow-up action popcorn movie, you're rating it, it's all relative to what it is. So this movie, relative to what it is, I thought was entertaining and good. To the grand scheme of things, is it a great, like, oh my God, this is magic cinema? No. It was a good 2 hour, it made 2 hours and 20 minutes go by fast. It was a fast.
Overall, it was.
Yeah.
But people are calling it like a return to form for Spielberg. It's like classic magic Spielberg, and I wasn't getting that. This whole movie is like playing Where's Waldo, but everyone is Waldo.
How's everyone Waldo? They're looking for these certain items.
I'm saying all like the references in there.
Oh, there's tons of references.
Yeah.
I love the references. There were some deep pulls and some...
It's also mostly stuff that Spielberg doesn't give a crap about. Like, you can feel he's just like, yeah, someone fill in this, like, random CG scene. I don't care.
No, I think that, well, from some of the stuff I read, they spent a lot of money to get the rights to things. And there was some stuff that Spielberg didn't want to do because he didn't want it to be like...
Remember me?
Yeah. But they, like, there's some deep pulls in there. Like the Mayor Gordy Wilson poster.
Yeah, I didn't see that when you saw that one.
That was a good one. The Rush 5150 poster. Trying to think of some other stuff. And a lot of, like, modern gaming references. There's Minecraft, Halo, Batman.
I don't know. Batman isn't really game. Yeah, there was the 89 Batman in there for a second. Overwatch, I don't know what that is, but I know I've seen it enough that I'm aware
of it. The old Batmobile?
Yeah, the Adam West 66 Batmobile is in there.
Bigfoot, the Bigfoot truck. Mechagodzilla.
My whole thought on this movie is, like, because it was a lot of fun, but I have no real interest in rewatching it, because the highs that I got from watching it were seeing some of my favorite things on screen in a way that I wouldn't get to necessarily see them ever again or in that kind of context. But that's not really a movie. That's just me playing into my own personal nostalgia and preference. Like, I loved seeing a few of those things in there that I was like, oh my God, it's this thing. That's amazing. But that's just showing me a thing. I can get this, like, essentially the same thing out of, like, a BuzzFeed article. Like, remember these things from the 90s?
Well, I'm looking through some of the, like, the references that were listed. And, like, there was there's stuff that you pull out at the time and stuff like, I did see that. Like, the T-Rex from Jurassic Park. There was a Last Action Hero reference. Obviously, the Iron Giant was right in the middle of it. But Alien, there's the Alien reference.
Oh, yeah,
the
there was.
burster.
Yes.
What else was there? GoldenEye. They talked about that.
Oh, boy, do they.
Superman was referenced in it.
Yep.
Spider-Man. Looney Tunes.
I saw Marvin the Martian in there.
Yep. Asteroids, obviously. Galaga. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Was the phone booth in there?
Yes, it was. Star Wars. Borderlands, which is a game. Tootsie Pop, the candy. Remember they talk about it's not going to take so many licks to get to the center of this.
Oh, yeah.
The Knight Rider car was in there. Kit was in there.
The Knight Rider car wasn't in there. They had the Knight Rider blinky lights on the front of the DeLorean.
Yes. Beetlejuice. Goro from Mortal Kombat was in there.
Yeah, I saw him.
Mad Max was in. Oh, yeah, the Citizen Kane references because they were talking about Rosebud.
Yeah, Rosebud, yes.
All the stuff from The Shining.
We don't need to list the references. If you see this movie, it's nothing but references.
Well, when they said Buckaroo Banzai, you were like, oh, wow, Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah, that's a fun one. It is a fun... I like that movie a lot. I don't know, my general thought was, it's fine, but I have no interest in ever seeing it. It was fun. I would recommend seeing it once, but I have zero interest in returning to it.
I would say it's fun. Like some of the stuff you could get, like some of the the quote in-game when they're talking about the Oasis, which is like the virtual world that they live in. For people who don't know, the movie takes place in this virtual world. It felt very Avatar-like.
What I love is, like, there are no rules. You have total anonymity. But even, like, with the internet now, with partial anonymity, it's nothing but just a sea of, like, racism and homophobic slurs. You didn't see any of that in this movie. Like, so there are some rules. Well, but, like, there are no rules. Like, apparently, against, not being horribly racist constantly.
But there's, like, virtual sex palaces you could go to.
Yeah.
And casinos. By the way, it was in 5150 by Rush. 5150 was Van Halen. 2112 was the Rush album that they referenced. Want to make sure I got my numbers right. But I loved some of the stuff that they had in there. Like, you could go and buy upgrades for your player with what they called coin. And there was the Holy Hand Grenade. Obvious Monty Python reference. A couple other different things.
I like how they didn't dwell on references for the most part.
It was everywhere. It was so seeped in references. But I liked a lot of the visuals. I thought it was fun. It was entertaining. It was a predictable story. They had the romance in there.
Well, my kind of issue with it is like...
There was a lot of convenience that in this global network that our main character is playing in, right? Wade Watts. All of the people he meets in this virtual world that he befriends and needs to help all live near him in real life.
That's different in the book. Quite significantly different in the book, but I can understand why you'd want to just move the movie a little bit closer together. And even that, like, compared to the book, we meet a lot of the human characters a lot earlier in this movie. And from a movie standpoint, I can understand that, like, oh, we want to, like, get a better connection with them and not just meet them for, like, 2 random scenes. But at the same time, every time we were in the real world, the movie just drags. When your lead is Blandis Cyclops, boy, those parts of the movie were not...
Can we also talk about, like, how emotionally detached Wade is from reality? His aunt and uncle are killed. Although his aunt and whoever his aunt was sleeping with at the time are killed, and he has, like, zero emotion over it.
The aunt is a lot worse in the books. Mm-hmm. She's very unpleasant.
So it's like a comeuppance?
No, but it's like, if he comes, like, he has to go to his little van that he has his setup in, because if he brings anything home, she'll just sell it for drug money.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so, like, he has to avoid, like, going home and bringing anything electronic into the house, because she'll just take it from him and sell it.
Okay.
And she's, like, getting, like, essentially food stamps for him for being in the house, but then she just takes them and turns them again for drugs. So, pleasant lady in the book.
I can see why he'd want to be in the Oasis.
Yeah, in his little van that no one knows about. I don't know. I mean, I'll get into specifics and spoilers, but overall, it's worth seeing once, but I wouldn't rush. It's fine. It's enjoyable, but it's not... I'm not putting this as, like, it's a Spielberg classic. It is fun. I had fun watching it once, but when I started to think about it, it almost made me feel kind of tired.
There's a lot that happened.
And somehow not a lot.
Reasonable assertion. Fair enough.
I guess let's move on to spoilers. If I had to give it a rating, I'd give this a solid red box it.
Yeah, I'd live with the red box rating as well. I don't think you need to be clamoring to go out to see it in the theater. I think in the theater it's fun because it's big and grandiose. But I think it'd be fun to red box because you could kind of pause. And
yeah.
I thought,
there's an
what I thought
advantage
I saw.
to being able to pause, yeah.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't want to skip it. I also wouldn't want to buy it because I don't feel like there's a lot of rewatch value other than just trying to pause it and pick out references. But hey, guess what? Someone on YouTube will do that for you.
There you go.
So Redbox this sucker. And from there, let's do spoilers!
Look out! There's spoilers ahead!
Simon Pegg with an American accent. Unsettling.
Yeah, not really good.
Didn't appreciate it. And then he was in weird old man makeup.
Yes, not weird old man makeup, but he was definitely like, I don't know if MacGuffin was what would be the right term? He was like hiding in plain sight.
That is an element from the book that they changed to give him the coin, and I knew what it was. This is not a direct adaptation from the books by any stretch. And there's even an entire sequence all about having to change a book to make a movie about it. It's like the thing they lean into the most with The Shining. Okay, do you remember how The Shining was a book, but they had to change it a bunch to make it a palatable movie?
They said it outright.
Yeah, I wonder how Stephen King feels about this movie. But there is an extended Shining sequence where they go to the Overlook and you see most of the monsters in there, minus the nudity because it's PG-13.
What was it? It wasn't like the thing though. Like it was like the creators regret, and it was Stephen King's least favorite movie.
Yeah,
based on the book.
Yeah, it's like something like the creator hates or something. Because Stephen King has been very upfront about hating Stanley Kubrick's version of The Shining. So much so that he made his own TV movie version in the 90s. It's kind of crap.
But it's true to Stephen's vision.
Yeah, or just read the book. It's
Richard Bachman.
I did enjoy the Overlook stuff. Like, I had Spielberg so clearly. Like, he knows there's this insane level of symmetry in The Shining that, like, you can do a whole film studies class about. Mm-hmm. And they had all of that in there. I the second they showed the Overlook, I was looking for all, like, the sets of twos of everything and the weird, like, splits and breaks and all that. It's pretty perfect. I also thought The Shining was an interesting movie to do because that was a Kubrick movie. Spielberg and Kubrick were friends up until like the point where Kubrick died and Spielberg took over AI for him. What was that, around like 2001?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was interesting. And also the idea, this is literally a movie based on a book that they had to change around a bunch to make it a palatable movie. And they were referencing the same thing with The Shining, so I thought that was kind of fun. The challenges, they switched up a bit, because in the book it's about like who knows the most pop culture, but that's a really boring thing to see in a movie. It's just a guy like be Wikipedia verbally. So like the car chase isn't in the book, but it's how the movie opens. And I like switching it up to make it a more visual challenge.
I liked
So in 5 years, no one figured out go in reverse, not even by accident.
Yeah. I don't know, there's some different parts about it, but I think it was just I liked a lot of the visual stuff. I thought it was fun. The in-the-game world stuff and the Oasis stuff was fun.
How does the suit work? How does the visor? I don't know how this world really works, because you see some people doing it on the street. You see some people doing it in their apartments. You see some people doing it on a treadmill.
Do they do like incredible bandwidth?
And then you see like Ben Mendelsohn. And there's a lot of focus in multiple scenes put on how sensitive your dick is in this world.
Well, if you're wearing the right suit.
Yeah. But
they do to fully immerse yourself in it.
But there's one done for pleasure, and then there's one done for kicking Ben Mendelsohn in the balls.
He sold it well.
But what was weird is then, like, he gets kicked in the balls, and it's not like he has a full suit. He has kind of a plated suit, so the first thing he does is he takes off the ball plate. So if you're a smarmy guy like Ben Mendelsohn, why put on the ball plate in the first place?
Because you're a smarmy guy like Ben Mendelsohn, and you want the full experience.
He doesn't want the full experience. He hates this world. He just wants to monetize it.
Yeah, but
he wants to create a world of microtransaction, and then a guy who's most likely going to get kicked in the dick gets kicked in the dick, and he's like, oh no, take off my dick plate.
Bitcoin.
Don't put on the dick plate.
Things I've never thought I'd hear, but I've heard.
I don't know, that bothered me. Like, why? Because then he shows it as like being just a detachable part that doesn't need to be there.
Why couldn't you call it his virtual codpiece?
I guess it was, sure.
Dick plate just sounds really offsetting. Virtual codpiece is a little more palatable.
And I get he's wearing, like, fake teeth in this movie, and I don't know why.
I think some of the things I really did like were, I liked the big battle at the end. There's a lot of reference and fly through on that.
But
we're also heading in that way in
iteration of Ninja Turtles. I hated seeing that.
Yeah, you actively said, boo. You out loud in the theater said, boo.
No, it's those terrible movie Ninja Turtles. Bah, they'll never get a sequel.
No. But, I mean, we are heading... Have you ever put on the virtual reality
I never have,
glass?
No.
Like, you put your phone and do it. It is really interesting. But, I mean, we're heading in that way in some respects for, like, full immersion type gaming like that. I mean, we've had augmented reality games. Remember Pokemon Go?
Oh, yeah. If anyone remembers Pokemon Go, it's the guy who got the news for it for nothing he did.
Yeah. Get a job.
Loser. Random number of exclamation points, 2. 2 is one too many. Do
or
1 or 3.
So it's 2, one too many or 1 too few?
It's both. That's why it's the most unsettling.
Because you're like not committed.
Just not like 2. 1 or 3.
Okay. Is that like a grammar rule? English major?
It's not. It's just a preference.
Okay.
Boy, I got sidetracked there. Also, I don't like the ending. Because, like, in the book, like, Wade Watts walks away forever, that's kind of the thing, and he discovers, like, reality is the better thing and blah, 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 and don't rely on the world of pop culture. But in this, they set it up that he wins the game, and he turns it off every Tuesday and Thursday. You know what that's going to do? A competitor is just going to pop up to offer it for a better deal for every day of the week. And all he's doing is just...
He's undercutting his market.
Terrible business plan.
It really is. Also, like... What else is going on in the world? All of these people are connected.
Also,
into
how
Oasis.
dare you tell people like what their schedules are? Like, no one wants to be told what they can't do. People are going to find a hack.
Yeah. Also, like, He just needs Tuesdays and Thursdays so he can spend time with his new girlfriend.
I know. The ugliest person ever. That tiny, beautiful woman with a barely noticeable birthmark.
Oh, the Weinstein birthmark. Like Gorbachev.
Yeah. Like, oh no. She's like, I'm so hideous. I like how she's like, this isn't my real face when she's in the Oasis. I'm like, of course, you have weird anime eyes, like red spiky hair, and you're CG. Of course, that's not your real face. But then you see her, and she's like, I have this one birthmark, but I'm really hot beyond that. Oh no.
I'm going to cover it with my hair.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you're hideous. However will he deal with this? However will blandest Cyclops get over this issue?
Having interaction with a real-life girl for the first time in his life.
What's in the book, he starts off as like a real fat kid, but then he ends up like getting the treadmill for it, and he loses a bunch of weight. And then he also buys a sex bot when he gets rich.
Happy birthday, Polly.
Yeah, he just has sex with the Rocky IV robot.
Ooh, I'm pretty sure Polly had something. I'd be careful.
No, because someone would want to have to touch Polly for Polly to get something.
There are plenty of desperate women in Philadelphia, I'm sure.
This has been a weird episode.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much it for Ready Player One. I mean, there's not a whole lot to it. I mean, it's a straightforward popcorn adventure, pop culture celebration.
I don't think it's a return to form for Spielberg, and it's also not a bad movie.
No.
It's just kind of fine and worth watching once, especially if you grew up with like 80s and 90s ephemera.
I would agree.
But if you're over the age of 45, skip it.
If you're under the age of 25...
Yeah, because that Shining sequence, the guy who was sitting next to me in the theater, he was enjoying this movie a lot more than I was. And then he had a little...
I'm sitting right here.
And then he had a little kid with him.
Okay, not me then.
They did the entire Shining sequence, and the kid got scared and climbed in the dad's lap. I'm like, these usually spacious seats suddenly feel very cramped.
Listen, just because I crawled into your lap because I was scared during the Shining sequence doesn't mean we don't need to tell people about this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hold me.
Red box it. Don't. It's doing fine in theaters. It's fine.
It'll probably win back-to-back weekends, and
it's too bad because I really wanted to like this.
What was Rampage next weekend?
I don't know, but I hear there's no Rampage in it, according to you, Paul.
Oh, you, Paul.
Yeah, you want to see a funny rant? Look up his one screaming about his Kickstarter. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's I say red box it.
I agree.
All right. From there, we're moving on to letters to the editors.
Lot of questions, number one. Damn few answers.
Here's another one of your letters to the editors.
Make it so.
Nice, easy question. Or we'll see. It's all speculative. What characters are going to die in Avengers Infinity War?
I feel like we've answered this question.
Have we?
Yes.
You sure?
I'm almost 95% certain.
Well, there's been new information since we may or may not have answered this.
Okay.
I thought this was new.
No, because we talked about this. We've talked
about it. I don't know if we've done it
definitely done it as a question.
I don't know.
That's a really good answer.
I'm going to say more than you think.
Who many are going to die in this movie or in the whole arc?
In this movie.
In this movie?
I would say at least 3. I'm not quite sure.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's a potential. I think Pepper's going to die.
But she's not technically a hero.
I know, but whatever. She was in a sports bra that one time and was blowing things up.
That's very heroic. Well, Ant-Man survives.
All right, that could take place at a different point in time. Loki is going to die, and I don't think he's coming back. Or unless he does come back. But I would say Cap is going to die. This weird lack of Hawkeye promotion makes me think that Hawkeye's going to die, even though we definitely see his stupid, douchey haircut.
Yeah, but I think it makes sense that Hawkeye dies because there's the emotional tie because we've met his family. He's really
Maybe his family dies.
No, I could buy Hawkeye. There has to be a major one. So it's Cap.
And I will say at least one more.
Because then you can set up Bucky as Cap in the next one.
Well, the thing is I think that there are going to be numerous deaths. I'm just saying 3 is a random number. I feel like if you start going too big, it might lose its impact if it's just like one after another. Because I think we're going to lube a number of characters in this movie. But then I think a big part of the next one is going to be getting them back.
I think
what we're going to do is we're going to lose a bunch of characters in this movie, and then the third act of the next one is going to be like the Avengers reassembled, and they're all going up against Thanos and winning, and then no one dies or something.
Vision. I think Vision dies.
It doesn't matter if he does. They can just rebuild him.
Yeah, but still.
I think, he's definitely going to get torn apart, but then they'll just rebuild him as something else. He'll be fine. He's a robot. I don't know. I bet we're going to lose a lot of ancillary characters. Maybe not necessarily big ones. Like, we might lose somebody like the Dora Milaje in Wakanda, or Shuri, or someone, or like I said, Pepper, or Wong, or just smaller characters, but I bet they're all going to get resurrected in the following movie. It will lose a couple of big players, and the whole point of Avengers 4 is bringing them back so they can overtake Thanos once and for all.
Mm-hmm.
Apologize if we've answered this before.
I feel like we've had this discussion on a couple of occasions.
Because, I think part of this is going to be because Marvel's been really good about following up on stuff. I think there is going to be a point where, because we saw Tony having that vision of the future, where, like, he sees all the Avengers, like, lying dead in front of him, and Cap kind of pops up for a second. He's like, why did you let us die? I bet there will be a follow-up on that.
Yeah, Thor was dead in that.
Yeah. I don't think Thor is going to die, because I don't think he's going to do a lot in this movie.
Maybe Drax dies, because he just does a head-on run at Thanos.
Yeah, that'd be real messed up. We'll see, though. I would guess, I don't know, that was kind of a weak answer, where I'm just saying a bunch of them, but I don't think any of it's going to be permanent. I'm not terribly concerned at this point, because I think Thanos is going to win. This will be our Empire Strikes Back of a movie.
But Empire's the best. It's best when things go to hell. In a movie, not in real life.
Yeah. And then it's nice when they have a convoluted plan to go get their friend back, and one of you ends up in a bikini, one of you is a bartender.
And one of you lost your hand.
Yeah. And then you have to fight a fat man's pet. The Rancor is pretty cool.
The Rancor is pretty cool. The Rancor is also dead.
Yes, he is. Poor the Rancor.
He lasted longer than, he really did. He lasted longer in a fight against Luke than Boba Fett did.
Weird that we haven't seen more Rancors, right? Because I always thought the Rancor was an awesome design.
Yeah.
But, we've seen, like, they brought the AT-ATs back in, like, a big way.
They did.
In a couple of movies, but they haven't really touched the Rancors.
Maybe we'll get Rancors. JJ, if you're listening, Rancors, please.
Yeah. I guess that'll do it for this week.
Yeah.
I'm parched. I'd like a glass of water.
We have whiskey.
It's not really a thirst cleanser.
Cleanser?
Whatever.
You meant quencher. A thirst cleanser.
A thirst cleanser.
You know, if this whole comic book thing doesn't come out, you can develop a thirst cleanser.
Excuse me while I cleanse my windpipe with this whiskey.
And while he talks about that, I'll remind you guys that you can support the show by going to patreon.com/editorsnotecomics, and you can support this show for $1 a month. You get us a day early, and you get the other show, the Buffy back issue bin, a whole week early. Real interesting issue, or addition to the Buffy back issue bin came out.
That was a fun tweet. It's all true.
Yes.
I can't even remember what I said because it's so convoluted, but it's a fun show.
Yes, it's a fun show.
I did like this episode. It stands alone. But yeah, that is, I don't know, probably another 7 months or so of that.
So get on board with that. Also, you can stop by the store.
Yeah, that's still open. Fencing be damned.
Yes, you could just like be hiding behind it. You should forget. I'm gonna look and find to get you a sign that says, "Yes, I'm still here."
What am I gonna do? Like the clerks? Like, I assure you, we're open.
Yes, you should do that.
That'd be funny.
That'd be a good. You should, and like hang it on the other side of the fencing so people driving by the construction can see it.
Or I could use that printed out sign that's made of, I don't know, some kind of fabric that I could just hang there. I'll probably just do that one.
But it'd be so much cooler if we got a bed sheet and spray painted it like, yes, we're open.
Yeah. Everything's on the website, editorsnotecomics.com, if you want to, shoot us an email. Send more questions, because apparently I'm repeating myself unintentionally. I wasn't going to find a new one. I was committed at that point.
Yes.
Look, we did 2 last week.
We did. 1 live on the show as it came in.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I looked into, like, when did Stan actually stop writing? And then I looked it up and I forgot to write it down.
Oh.
Whatever. I was pretty close.
It was not bad for, like, on the top of your head in the moment.
It was the
early
early 70s,
was good.
I was right. After he returned from his failed movie script project that never went off.
Excelsior!
Yeah. And you're on Twitter.
Yes, at Junior Rich. The store, though, is 210 Water Street in Hollowell. Despite the construction, still multiple places to park. All of the churches in the downtown area. There is parking on Water Street as you would head. What direction is that? I guess that's east on 202?
I don't know.
Whatever that direction on 202 is, it'd be east because it's heading toward the Capitol. That's the direction. That's the flow of traffic. And traffic heading towards Garner's on 2nd Street and down Academy.
Yeah.
Parking at the Hollowell Antique Mall and Lucky Garden. Be a rebel.
Yeah. See if you can beat the police.
I don't think the police are going to be upset as much as the Lucky Garden people will be upset.
But yeah, we'll be back next week.
It's not exactly like Hollowell has a good track record with parking this year, considering that there was at least 20 cars caked at ice for a week.
I wonder if that parking kid is going to get his job back this season because it's going to be such a mess.
The parking kid?
Yeah, they hired a little meter maid to go around.
Oh, yeah, the parking enforcement guy. He'd walk around with a little piece of chalk and mark your tires.
Yeah, much like the guy smoking. Well, I guess not. He wasn't smoking weed, but he would often hide behind buildings and just lean on them. Call it a day.
The parking enforcement guy or the construction worker today?
The enforcement guy. No, the construction guy was just high.
Oh, but the parking enforcement guy just kind of hung in between buildings and looking to gotcha guys. People like parking downtown.
No, just hiding.
So the 2 hour
to
parking,
avoid work.
The 2 hour parking really didn't apply to anybody, did it?
Hey, he marked some things.
Yeah, he did. I saw him tag some people up.
I don't know why I'm bad mouthing so many people tonight. I don't care.
That's because you had to watch a backhoe drive back and forth all day and get your view of the... You really have no view of the outside world now except for to look over the river.
No, I'm trapped.
You are. It's a trap.
We'll be back next week for what I think, unless something else happens, which it may. It also probably won't. But I think we're going to be going into a 2-part series that I have been looking forward to for a very long time.
Is it Man-Bat?
No.
Is it Detective...
I'm adding a Man-Bat episode now. Are you happy?
Is it Detective Chimp?
No. Maybe I'll have a Detective Chimp episode. At least know where I can go for Man-Bat easily. But yeah, we're going to do some... I don't know how to describe it because I don't want to give it away, but we're going to do something... They're connected, something really good, and then some of the best, worst comics I've ever read.
Amalgam?
No. Those are just... I guess those are all some of the best, worst. We're going to do I love doing bad comics that are so bad they're lovely. We're doing one of those real, so it's going to be a 2-part series. We'll be back next week. See ya.
Peace!